Hello. How are we doing? Everyone good tonight? I don't know if there's anyone watching just yet. I'm gonna 2 seconds. That'll do. Okay. I forgot my focus stick, which is literally just a stick. That was a thing back in pandemic times as well. Back then it was actually a stick. I just had like a random stick I found walking. So, a different show that I'm doing tonight. Someone was asking. Oh, that was Curtis there. Curtis was asking, where did I go? I went to get my focus stick, which is just a stick, so that I can press the focus button. Quick shout out to Curtis. He's there as Goth Rider Creations. I'm looking across from here and trying. I should know that anyway. He has a lovely YouTube channel where he just it's essentially pottering in the shed, which I love. It's kind of it will be my retirement plan. Right now I really want to get into the whole doing the politics, trying to gain a grassroots movement, stuff like this, and that is it's very exciting to me. I think it's going to be necessary the next few years. We've got the Labour government almost certainly coming in, but there is a lot to be done on the ground. If you're behind him, you understand it's not just going to be done in Westminster. It's going to be done on the streets. It's going to be grassroots movements. Again, obviously the name. It's going to be pushing stuff forwards on street level because government can't do everything. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but certainly 5 years, 10 years, if this actually goes well, I'm going to be tired, and in 10 years' time, I'll be 50. So looking for a good winding down, and just have a little pottering shed, and just that'll be the only streaming that I do. I think that. I mean, 10 years is optimistic to actually do this on a high level if we get there. So yeah. In the meantime, Curtis has a lovely YouTube channel. You can. I've not caught up on his recent projects, but he's been learning to make guitars, even though he's not really a guitarist. He just likes making guitars and all sorts of other stuff. So I would like to have a little bit of an on-screen chat with him at some point. So. But yes, so as I say, I've not got things up to speed in time for the election to really make any kind of a difference, even on a local level. I will be digging out the interview with Ben Taylor, who's the candidate for my area, who I have an interview with him because I interviewed him in lockdown. He was doing a sort of community action kind of group, getting shopping to elderly people who were shielding, and getting people in touch with food banks, all this kind of stuff. It was really nice to chat to him at the time, and it kind of doesn't surprise me massively that he's now looking to do more good on a larger scale with the Labour Party. So I'd love to get him back on before the election. I don't know if that's going to make sense for him. There's not much win in terms of reaching a lot of new people or anything like this. Don't worry about this noise. I'm taking off my squeaky shoes. I've literally come back from my office job, and I say office job. I should actually explain this to people who don't know. I since the pandemic, I did all sorts of stuff, but eventually ended up going into audiovisual technician work, which once I started it, I kind of understood. I probably should have been doing this a long time ago. I loved film directing. Curtis there. Um, do, 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 do. Sorry. So yeah, I thought I'd read. I was talking about Curtis. I thought I'd read what he had to say. He said I try hard not to include politics in my channel, but it's very hard not to talk about it. It is very true. So many conversations I have lean me towards politics because it really does just affect all of your lives. So if you know anyone that hasn't registered to vote yet, really just give them a message because they've got till midnight. That's throw that one out there. At least give yourself the option to not pick an option. After today, you might be like, "Oh, who do I go for? Oh, I don't get to choose now." Some people are literally going to be spoiling ballots, which is I kind of get it, but anyway. So Curtis saying about my film days. Curtis was my set designer, set construction guy. He was new to the gig, but did a sterling job. I would love to get him on here to talk about mucking around in just it's a lot of tinkering. There's a lot of like fun stuff that I enjoy. If I had the time to sit in a tool shed, I would do so much cool stuff. I've always wanted to make a vacuum formed plastic machine, partly for my chocolates, partly for making cosplay stuff. So you can make bits of armor, get the right shape, just make it fit to your arm. Stuff like that would be great. Anyway, so hopefully get Curtis on to chat about some stuff, and I'll tell people a little bit more about my graduate film if anyone's interested. Moving on to the topics that I want to talk about tonight. So it's again talking about the parties that we're looking at. So Labour is the first one. So again, like people may get the impression from me online or when I talk to them that I believe wholeheartedly in Labour. I do not. They have essentially done another Blair as far as the manifesto goes, stuff like that. It even lacks some things that Blair's campaign had, which is the optimism, the all this kind of stuff. This manifesto, this campaign has been steady as she goes. They literally use that phrase, steady as she goes. Let's not rock the boat. Let's just steady the ship. A lot of nautical metaphors there, but just keep going. And I get it, but what's been a little bit galling for me is that is a good strategy. Don't be ashamed of it. I've seen him called up on the private school tax thing, and essentially this is a weird one where like he's just being very coy about it for some weird reason. I don't know who he thinks he's gonna really piss off. The amount of people sending their kids to private schools is a very small amount of the electorate. I get that he doesn't want to piss up any amount, but the way to shut that down is, do you understand we are Labour? There are people in our party, many people in our party, that don't want there to be private schools. Full stop. And we are not taxing you, we are removing an exemption of tax. That's different. If you can afford to send your kids to private school, you deserve to be taxed on that because it is not an essential thing. Food does not get VAT. Non-essential things get VAT. If private schools were an essential, then we would have a private school system full stop. Do you see how this works? He could really talk about it in these terms. This is not an essential. This is a choice. And many people believe you should not have this choice. There are people who say, get rid of private schools. I'm one of them. Because I don't believe there should be private schools or private medical care. Because if you get rid of those, everyone in this country has to use those. So those people who pay taxes have an extra incentive to pay those taxes fairly, justly, without going around them with loopholes. Because if you don't pay your taxes and you have a heart attack, you're less likely to survive. Your kids are going to have worse schools if you don't pay your taxes. Do you see where that goes? And beyond that, with the school system as well, it's simply a fact of, why are you paying for these? Is it extra classrooms, all this kind of stuff? It's a road ahead, that kind of stuff. Sure, but there is a simple understanding that this puts your kids ahead. You are paying to win for your kids. That should not be a thing. And the very least we should be asking is that you pay tax on that, because you can afford the tax. If things are so bad that the parents feel the desperate need to put their kids in those schools, otherwise they will fail at life, either that you think that kid's stupid, or you think state schools are so bad, which is why we need the taxes. You see what I mean? Anyway, there's a lot of stuff like that where he's sort of being tripped up by simple questions. You were in Labour's shadow cabinet. Would you have served a term with Corbyn? I don't know how you don't answer that one. I don't know why that tripped him up. Yes, I was in his cabinet. I would have served if we won. What are you trying to get away from on that one? That was really freaking weird. It went on for so long as well. Just say, well, yeah, I was in the job. It's a job. I would have done the job. But for the most part, Labour seems to be doing a good job of it. They've avoided the Brexit question and all the other stuff that would have tanked this campaign. They've been helped along by Rishi Sunak massively. So I guess we move on to that one. Rishi Sunak, just give in. Honestly, you've gotten to a point where you know you can't win, right? That is where you are. You simply cannot win this. You are going to be lucky if you get second place. And the odds on that are not very good. I know this because I bet against you on that one. And I'm feeling pretty confident. What you need to do now is damage control. And I don't mean damage control to win the election. I mean damage control to have a Tory party in 5 years. Farage has been very clear that he wants to gobble that thing up and create a centre-right party. We really should do a proper look at the Overton window on this one, because Farage believes he's on the centre-right, and Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer are socialists, which by my calculus means he just admitted he's a fascist. He's admitted his Overton window is so small. Here is Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak at the same point, and he's over here. Which, if you open that up, I should have done graphics for this, but that makes him a fascist. He's not very good at hiding this stuff. So, essentially, Rishi Sunak, just admit to the failures of the last however many years. Just admit to it. And when it comes down to it, you can save the party. Not the election. You cannot save the election. You can save the Tory party as it exists. You can avoid it being cannibalised by the Fourth Reich. Now, you will probably lose more votes by this, honestly, but you might gain them, honestly. You might save a few seats by simply saying the last 14 years has been an ever descending shit show, and an ever creep by creep towards the far right. Just say to your voters, if you're not going to vote for us, don't vote for reform. We have crippled this country. They will put a bullet in its head. It is that. It is simply that. You cannot win this, but you can lose more than you are able to lose. It's just it. So yeah, on that cheery note, I will end my little rant today. I think I won't do very much more. I wasn't able to do slides today. I literally finished work at 7 p.m. and I came back and I was able to set all of this stuff up, which I'm fairly proud of. So I will sign off soon. But what I will say is, next week I will have a little bit more time to get ready. And I would like to get some people on board, people who have some ideas. So I'll do a little. I'll put this a bit better. I'll make a little PSA starting in a second, and I'll chop that out and put that out as a separate video, and put that out over the course of the next week. Try and get some people. I'll probably put it out tomorrow. So. I'll try to get some people on board, create a little bit of a newsroom. We'll hopefully meet the Monday night on Zoom. Anyway, here's the PSA. If you would like to join me on GrassRoots TeeVee to create a bit of a newsroom where we meet on Zoom or Teams, if everyone prefers Teams, or at some point create a Discord. Discord works too. And we'll all meet up, bring what we've seen over the last week on a Monday. Bring your image files, your videos. We'll talk about it. We'll see what everyone thinks about it, and I'll put that together for the Tuesday night show and put it out there like this, like it was last week. So I might re-record that. Anyway. Very nice to be continuing doing this, and hopefully we will start this looking a little bit more like a professional outfit soon. And hopefully someone's up for hosting. That would be great. If someone was up for doing a lot of the on-camera work, I'd be really up for that. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you next week.